I remember you said something, but I was like, I don't remember what she said.
Could you, could you state your name, ma'am? All good.
Yeah. Yeah.
All about love around here.
I'll let you stay home.
It's all about love.
Can I watch it? I wrote a statement
We're working.
for you.
I think that's I was out. Had to put up a mailbox for a guy. One of my guys ran over a mailbox yesterday. So I built a mailbox this morning, put up a new sign. That's right. If you're doing nothing, you don't tear anything up.
First.
So we're not start. Cliff is tied up for a minute.
We don't have we can't start, we don't have we can't do this. We'll just start later. Huh? You don't say much. Never. I have to give you a microphone, Ben. Barely hear you. She moved over in front of the.
He's probably watching us to see what he signed up for.
One of these foods. I agree either. You know. Call this meeting to order. Got it, please.
Pirates that carried in this weekend.
Isn't that great?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Captain Barbosa is really like the guy, isn't he? He's born to be a man. You can't play anything else. You'll never be able to play anything.
Trying to think what else I've seen. I'm gonna go ahead and.
Yeah. Okay. Excuse me. Somebody picture of the fence over there.
No, we're gonna do new on that front side. New fence.
So they're,
That's what I put in my.
Did you get the bid on that?
they're,
That's kind of no.
Was it pretty expensive?
Yeah, I started saying, I don't know what.
Spot baits.
I seem to think he was okay. Yes. Let's come back to put in, we're gonna take. We're gonna reduce one gates, we do two sliding gates. And I can't remember what that is. So we're going from our corner. It's significant, yeah, it's pretty significant. I think that's possible.
So John, have you already had a chance to make a presentation?
No, sir, not yet.
Okay, would you like to do that while I set up the computer?
I got the sheet up there, but you.
Okay.
Morning. Good morning.
Doing well.
Morning.
Morning.
You don't need more than one.
No, sir.
Would you like to sit anywhere?
Anywhere, be fine.
Good morning, my name is John Gaston. And, I have run United Way of Smith County. And part of what we do in Smith County is we have a program called 211, which is a state service that serves 14 counties, of which Zandt is one of the counties that we serve. And it is an information referral crisis hotline. And it's been in operation out of Tyler, out of United Way there for about 20 years. There's 211s all over the state. And it's probably 90% funded by the state of Texas. Our dilemma is that funding has remained basically flat. We had a bump in COVID year. We got an increase. We're basically flat. Unfortunately, the expenses that I'm responsible for, they keep going up. Primarily trainings, have to train the staff, salaries, benefits, insurance. We cover a lot of that funding ourselves. And this first paragraph, there's two documents. This first paragraph relates to this what it is. 211 East Texas Region is part of our 211 Texas Information and Referral Network, a public-private partnership with Texas Health and Human Services and the United Way, serving 14 counties. 211 is a free and confidential service that easily connects people to the critical social and community support they need, whether it's access to mental health, financial assistance, helping people with job loss, programs for seniors, for crisis intervention. Okay. I mean, we take calls every day. Food insecurity, rental assistance, jobs. And I purposely put this bar graph in here because I wanted you all to get a sense of the service we provide to Zandt. This is the last 3.5 years. And as you can see, for 3.5 years, our total is about it's almost 6,000 calls we've handled for citizens of Zandt County. And as you could probably guess, our problem is funding. 211s across the state were part of a bill that was put up in the House. I think it was House Bill 35. And it came out of the House I met with, legislators, you know, lobbied at state, at the Austin level. And it got through the House. When it went to the Senate, it died there. That bill won't come around for a couple of years, I think it is. The shortfalls that I had, and I'm short about $40,000. Yeah, I've been trying to raise that myself in the last 4 or 5 years since I've been running 2 and 1. But a lot of that's drying up. So I came to the thought that I should go to my 14 counties that are the beneficiaries of my service and ask them to consider supplying some donation to help fund the shortfall I have for the United Way to service Van Zandt County. And I want to be 100% straight up with you, whether you help me or not, it's not going to impact our services in Van Zandt County. We will continue to provide service at the level that we're doing, whether you give or not, whether you help us or not. But I would like for you to consider, I know this is a workshop. I would like you to consider at some level helping us. I originally sent a letter to the judge back in May asking for 5,000. Be truthfully, this is kind of foreign territory for me. I've never done this before. And I said I was short 40. I got 14 counties. You can do the math. I've only had one county from the get-go that said they wouldn't consider help us. So that's really all I have. I'd be glad to answer any questions, and I appreciate your consideration.
What's your current annual budget?
Annual budget $360.
And do any of the counties now provide you any funding?
Yes. I mean, Cliff, I'm going through this currently, because a lot of these counties, just like y'all, are going through their budgeting process. But I've had commitments from 3 counties so far. August is my month to really know my results.
And the state provides you 211 funds,
About 80% funding.
8%. The rest of it's private.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, John.
Appreciate
We
it.
will take it under advisement
And thank you
and
very much.
or you bet. Thank you.
That free of charge. Thanks, guys.
You bet.
Was there do you have contact on him, like contact information? Is it on this?
I don't know. I've got his card right here. You want to give, I'll give you, I've got one. So there you go.
Anybody else?
Okay.
They're pretty, I'm glad to give it.
All right. Keith, and then you want to introduce your co-host or your partner?
My board members, Keith Starr.
Okay.
y'all.
Thank y'all.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah. All right. Misty, did you want to make your presentation? Or you? Yeah, give me a chance.
Paper. But I just wanted to come in before, hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I just wanted to come in to court this morning and explain a little bit. You guys had spoke about this line item here. Yes, normally that line item is a miscellaneous line item. Normally I have $800. Y'all cut me back to 5. That's okay. I'm gonna really believe it. Cause I can maybe move if I need it. Basically, that fund for me is for like new hires, for their testing and anything that like comes up, you know. In years past, I've used quite a bit of it. You know, there's 24. This was bumped up so that I could make a large purchase for a security item. It was broken, but we were able to fix it. But it is a fix, a temporary fix, basically. It will work where it's sitting, but it will not be able to be moved. So it will be a cost that will need to be done, in sure. But I'm okay with the cutting this. We bumped this last year because of the changes in with the DMV. We thought we were gonna be doing a lot more mailing, but that has not happened. So I'm happy that we cut that back. I'm okay to cut back the office supplies. But we bumped that last year because now we were paying for our own checks. And the banks aren't supplying that, and there's a cost involved with checks. And then I also have money left in that account because I had to buy chairs every other year. So I haven't made any of those purchases yet, but I'm okay with it being cut back, the 500. I'm okay with the cuts that were made because we know we have a lot to look forward to.
That stuff that you have, Missy, can you put it in a line item, besides miscellaneous?
Yeah, you had talked about, that seemed like it was a training item that you had mentioned before about new employees.
This right here is for like drug testing. It's for like the doctor visit that they have to do pre-hire. That's typically always come out of miscellaneous. That's what that's been used for in the past.
What we
But
might
that was
do,
actually for, we put more money in it so that I can purchase equipment, a piece of equipment. I would really call it exciting.
I think that it would be good to, like, if she's doing drug tests, put that under contract services and equipment, you know, if the equipment line item is not on her
My
budget.
truck under the lady thought, in fact, I've got one going in
I got one
this week.
I got
We're
one.
trying to
I
get
got one
away
this
from
week
the,
also.
we're trying to get away from the miscellaneous.
Yeah, we
We
want,
want things on line items.
And that is just where it's been since I've.
yes,
Right.
understood,
So
understood.
that would be a great for Mr. Ben. Yeah, that would be something.
So how much? I don't know, what-
I've
I'm
always,
just looking at 3,200, how much would you need in contract services, do you think, for, you know, I know you don't know from our all that. What's
Yeah.
it?
I don't, have so much turnover as we used to have.
That's good.
Of course, thank you.
That's good leadership.
So it's not needed like it was needed here. You know, so. I mean, I don't know exactly, everything goes up, so the drug testing cost goes up, I don't know what it will be this year, so I haven't had a new.
It's under $100, I believe.
So, so if you have any kind of ever. You know, it could be, but I'm fine with it. But I just wanted to explain because you guys were, I know there was something
Yeah.
that she was gonna do, but that's what it was, and that's all.
So you'd be good with 500 contract services and no miscellaneous? That's not what you're saying, is it?
I don't think so.
Well, the contract services would limit me to be able to use those funds for anything miscellaneous.
Yeah, you
That
have
may
some,
come up. You have to have some kind of. Unexpected type, budget line.
We're raising it back up, if the contract miscellaneous 500, then put 500 or 1,000 in contract service.
right,
Yeah.
I mean, we're coming back up a little bit.
Yeah, we're just moving it
But-
out of miscellaneous and into the specific
Right.
areas, but you still have the ability to come to the court if you needed to change, if you needed to remove or move money out of contract services. I don't need it there. I need it in office equipment.
If that's something that can be transferred or something. That I typically in the past that Sandy would be like, cannot transfer that. I don't know if it's able to be transferred, then.
I think it's just salaries.
Is
Yeah,
it just?
it's just, yeah, the personnel, above the
Yeah.
personnel line.
Is
That's
that long?
right, cannot be transferred.
what's your
That's
answer
long.
on that, is there something that can be transferred in that?
I think it's just salaries.
Yeah, so it would be from this person that can.
To the personnel, not the personnel costs. Everything but the salaries, people put their budget in there, hey, I wanna make sure I got enough because I can't come back to the court and ask for more, we're changing that. If you want a true budget, then something happens, you come to the court, explain why you need it, and then.
And that wasn't something typically us elected officials enjoy doing. Yeah. Be there.
You will
But
now.
or, I'm very frugal with my budget. I have given money back every year back to the general fund. Sometimes when I didn't have a staff, I gave back a lot of money to the general fund because the salaries weren't getting paid out. And that's not the case anymore, but, we do the best we can out here with the budget we were given. And, I'm happy to give funds back to the general fund. I really am, but I understand the need to get a true budget going forward, especially this next budget season. So if, I'm happy to cut where I can, so.
Well, and I think that part of it is cutting, but the other part of it is that we wanna correctly reflect the budget for what your operational difficulties might be. Yeah, and because we don't want money to come back to the budget.
Correct.
We want money to not ever go into those line items so that we can get a truer picture of what we have available. And that helps us reduce the tax rate. And it helps us, reduce those amounts to the extent that we can. So I appreciate all the work that you've done in stabilizing employment and working with us on the budget.
So I suggest we make $200 in contract services to account for your drug testing. And then leave the miscellaneous at 500. Okay, all right. Any other suggestions and questions? Thank you, Misty, for coming and doing that. All right, Mr. Palmer, you're up.
All right, thank you, Mr. Palmer.
Close the door on your way out. Yeah. In conclusion. All right, I gotta find it. I think it's way down here. For some reason, y'all are here at the very bottom.
Didn't we take that out yesterday? What's the whole?
There we go.
So, since the question of miscellaneous just came up, I would, think I need to create a line item, two different line items. One of them would be, for recertification. So Texas Commission on Fire Protection is who holds, fire certifications. And so when I bring you in as an employee, on that, the employee themselves cannot pay their renewal, and it's every October 1st, no matter when you got your certification. Every October 1st, you have to pay the Texas Commission on Fire Protection for recertification of your certs. And so that's where I was pulling miscellaneous from. So really it would be TCFP and Texas Commission on Law Enforcement, which are the 2 years. That's where I was pulling the money from, was from the research, because the employee themselves is not allowed. Once you are a full-time employee at a department, the department has to pay for the recertification.
Now, how much is that?
So it depends on how many certifications that you had. So that $1,000 that I had in there was enough to cover myself and Andrew Rapp right now. And because I don't have, I don't plan on hiring another, I don't plan on hiring another full-time TCFP certified person. In my additions, I had one full-time admin, one full-time environmental specialist, and then 2 part-time positions. At least one of which would be a help us out with investigations and inspections. But they in FIDO is what Texas TCFP uses for their certification tracking. They would be listed as part-time, and then the department does not pay their certification fee for part-time. And then I also had that on so eventually I've been talking to Judge Reese about this. I was wondering, why are we losing, other than the fire marshal position, why are we, the average time of employment is 9 months for people in my office? I had to answer, why is that? And so one issue that I think we've already corrected was we were hiring fully certified deputy fire marshals. So Usually you either come from the fire service or the police service, like Andrew Rapp was in the police service for 10 years. And at some point he decided he wanted to become a fire marshal, so he went and got all the fire certs. In my case, I came from the fire service side, I was a fireman, and then I went and got my, law enforcement certifications, right? So you go through all of this training, then you were coming here and 95% of what you were doing was inspecting septic tanks. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that was just not the career path that you chose. And so basically they were just coming, we were getting a lot of people they just wanted to get it on their resume so that they could go to a real fire marshal office. So the way that, the one way that we corrected it was when Ashley left, that's when I came to the court and asked to change that job title that was on, when you get to the breakdown of employees, what their job title was. That's when we changed that particular job title from deputy fire marshal to environmental specialist. And I worked with HR in creating a new job description for that. And I actually hired a person that is what their background is, and that's what they actually want to do, is the environmental side of it. Now, right now, I was perfectly honest with them. In my job description, I have stuff about, a lot of stuff, the water code and testing, and that's eventually that's what I wanted to be, but I was very transparent with her. And okay, so eventually that's where we want to get, but right now we're gonna do a lot of septic tank stuff. But talking with Judge Reese, one of the things that, again, I always say this, if there's only two things you need to know about me, one is I want to be great at what I do, and number two, I'm here to serve the community. And so one of the ways that I think we're lacking in serving the community is that we don't have a local health authority per the Texas Government Code. And what that local health authority is, it has the qualifications listed, but it is a physician, and then there's some other things. And then that physician can delegate authority to my environmental specialist so that they can do water testing, like if we believe anybody's polluted a lake or a pond or stream. But they can also issue the citations for any of the illegal dumping, abatement, and it makes our office more efficient. I think I was talking to somebody the other day.
How many of those items that you mentioned there require the health officer in order to do them, to test the water, to test the streams and ponds and lakes, or write tickets for, illegal dumping? Which of those, the ones that you mentioned, or did I conflate it and put two things together?
They just put two things together. So the environmental specialist is who I would like to do that. So they'd be able to go to cradle to grave, because right now, because we're all so busy, if my environmental specialist right now goes out to an illegal dumping complaint or an abatement complaint or whatever, all they can really do is go verify, do some investigation, but if there's a citation that needs to be issued, either Andrew or I have to go out there, stop what we're doing, and then go out there and issue the citation.
So having the doctor as the health officer
As a health
would allow them
authority.
to take that next step without you having to go out and do it yourself.
Yeah, that's part of the Texas Government Code.
Okay.
They can do a whole lot of things, like, once you establish a local health authority, we would adopt an ordinance basically, and it would say this is what our local health authority does. And it goes everything from water testing to inspecting restaurant kitchens. So it covers all of it, or it can, but we just haven't been able to set up a meeting yet with the doctor that we're thinking about being our local health authority.
Can they be part-time?
They don't get paid necessarily by the county.
Uh.
I don't know what I don't know what our doctor makes right now for being the person that we go like that does the physicals and all that kind of good stuff. I don't know what he gets paid for doing that. So that's what the meeting was gonna be about, was, are you willing to take on this additional responsibility? And then I guess he would say yes or no, but you're gonna have to pay me more or what. But he doesn't actually, there's not a whole lot of work. And he's not the one going out and doing the testing or any kind of stuff like that. He's just, and I would work with him on what are we gonna say our minimum requirements are, like what training do they need? So that we're just not waving that fairy dust on them and saying they're good to go. So there's training involved in it, but there's not a whole lot of labor as far as the doctor's concerned.
And what year is that in your plan?
So I kind of had it a little bit in this one, but year 2 and 3 is where it really kicks off, depending on, again, it depends on what we want to do as a county. If we want to, start inspecting, kitchens at restaurants and stuff like that takes more people, more certifications, more stuff like that. So it really depends on what we want to do. I just know that when I was hired, two of the charges that I got was we need to get a hold on abatement, we need to get a hold on illegal dumping. And so that's what I'm focused on now.
Well, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Just talking about the restaurants.
Yes, sir.
Inspecting the kitchen. Doesn't the restaurants get inspected by the state once a year or so, something like that?
Yeah, so it's one of those things that they may do an initial, but it's kind of, they come by at their disclosure. So, I've just kind of randomly been surveying people, restaurants that I go into, and some of them say they haven't been inspected in 5 years.
That, I knew that they was some that was that way, but I didn't know how.
Yeah.
Worked. So,
And I'm not saying that's something we have to do, I'm just giving you, like, it's very broad when you look at that, when you look at that government code as to what the health authority can do.
I don't know if this is any useful information, but, I handle this agency, so the alcohol licensing, it's very minimal money. But, so they changed the law a couple of years ago, so I used to be in the field, anybody who sold alcohol within the county. For basically your certification monies, like I said, it's very little money, but when they changed the law, if a municipality or a city has a local health department, we cannot build it because you don't want to double bill the business. So the city of Canton actually has one. So anything within the city limits, and that's a lot of our alcohol venues around here, I'm just a couple, Liverpool's Point, Mayhem. Like most of them are here locally, I keep building. I haven't been able to build them for several years because Canton puts out their own health certificates. Now, whether they're inspecting, I do not know. I just know that if you need a food handler's license to work out first Monday, okay.
So I'm talking.
There's revenue money there to do something like that.
Yeah, I'm talking about just the unincorporated areas of Van Zandt County. And I'm working with Tanya right now about interlocal agreements. So basically right now, Canton and Grand Saline are the only two cities that have, like a fire marshal's office and does that kind of stuff. Wills Point and Fruitvale, we're working on interlocal agreements with them. Because it's just kind of been, well, that's how we've always done it. Like Fruitvale, for example, the mayor herself sent me an illegal dumping complaint form, but it was inside the city limits. And so I called her, and I said, I asked her if we have an interlocal agreement, because technically I have no authority once I step foot inside your city limits. If you want me to have authority, there needs to be an interlocal agreement. And so I know a lot of the cities will, that won't be a problem with Fruitvale. Because I've already talked to the mayor and she wants us to do that stuff for her, which isn't a problem.
Is that the same like inspection of commercial buildings?
So
So if somebody wanted to put a daycare inside the city of Wills Point, you wouldn't be able to speak to that.
if they are inside the city limits and there's no interlocal agreement or memorandum of understanding, by the book, I do not have any authority. The only thing in the government code, as far as serving cities, that it states is that any city that calls upon the fire marshal shall investigate the fire. So that's the only thing that they list out in the government code, that if a city calls, that I have to go do it and I have authority to do it. Everything else is done through local agreements and memorandums of understanding. So we've been doing it that way for a long time, and we just need to make it right now. And I'm working with Mrs. Kirby on making it right.
Okay.
And then there were two items that I don't have on the budget, and I think we need to start talking about it at some point. One of them is generically, I call it abatement services. So again, going back to abatement versus legal dumping, abatement is when it gets in the health and safety code and. Maybe there's a structure that is uninhabitable, or there are, like, when you go there, there's just a bunch of trash, it's Jed Clampett died and his wife inherited this sporty mess, right? And so, a lot of the places that I go, the majority, not all, but a lot of the places that I go to, when I walk up, it's 60-year-old, daughter living with 90-year-old mother who are both on disability. And like physically will not be able to clean that property up. To give you one example, I went to one and, the 30-year-old lived there with her mother and her grandmother. And she had just recently, her 2-year-old daughter had just died. So like, I'm not gonna issue that person a citation. They don't need a citation, they need help. And so that's one thing that we're missing on serving our community with right now, is it's one thing to go give them a notice. But if they don't have the money, they're not physically able to do it, it's not gonna happen. At some point, I would like to be able to, just like, right now, if you're a drug addict and you get arrested, you can get diversion and go to rehab and get your life straight. Well, right now, for abatement, the only avenue I have is to issue them a citation. I have nothing to offer them, such as, Commissioner Curtis, just one idea that he talked about was, in my budget, having the money to like rent a roll-off dumpster, coordinate with the sheriff to see if that's something he's interested in, but I rent the dumpster. And then the trustees come out and actually clean up the problem. So then we're actually serving our community, we're fixing the problem, and most of them don't want to live like that. And so that's the dilemma of, I'm standing there talking to these people and they're just bawling their eyes out. Because they don't wanna live like that, they're so sorry, but they can't do it. And like, I have nothing, I have no alternatives, no numbers for them to call, nothing for them to actually serve them. That's just, I'm not looking for a solution today, just something that I thought we should, start considering in the future is, what are we doing with this abatement stuff? And other things where we can actually serve people.
Well, now we know that you can give them the 211 number, and United Way can, at least give them counseling.
Yes, sir.
No, Judge? No?
Sorry,
I think that.
put United Way donation in his budget.
I bet we
Is that
find
what
some
you're
kind
saying?
We can find some kind of solution. We may not be able to help everybody, but if it comes through your office and through a few other offices and they say this is something we can do,
Yes, sir.
there's gotta be something that we can do
Yes, sir.
wouldn't it be great, like, to be able to help the community?
I would love it. And so that's another thing that is not on my budget. There's 3 pillars of the traditional fire marshal's office. You got inspections, investigations, and public service education. We're not really doing any of the public service education. So one of the things that I took off my budget, trimmed down, was normally, so like October is fire safety month. So usually in October is when the fire departments and us go to the schools and hand out coloring books and fire safety material and stuff like that. Like we try to educate the public about having exit drills in the home, stop, drop, and roll for the younger generation. I would buy, probably usually a couple hundred smoke detectors, so that 90-year-old grandmother who can't, so us or working with the fire departments goes puts smoke detectors in their home, and it's just an education. It's an education line item budget that again goes back to serving the community, because the fire marshal's office is all about prevention. Inspections, when I'm going in there inspecting to make it as safe as I can so that a fire doesn't happen. And even on investigations, if it's arson, I'm arresting that person and putting them in jail. But then if I find something like this winter, there was someone had put a heat lamp where they were housing some pregnant goats and a bunch of chickens because it was really cold. Well, if goats and chickens, they're gonna knock that heat lamp down, which they did. And it burned the place down, and it killed all their goats and all their chickens. So I put out a notice about putting heat lamps in there. So you get a lesson learned that gets put out to the community that hopefully prevents more fires. And it's the same thing with education. We're trying to hit from the youngest, the schools, all the way to the oldest, the entire community, about fire safety in the home. Cause at least one of the fatalities that we had this year was because she didn't have smoke detectors in the home. So that's one person that's dead that for a, $20 worth of fire extinguishers would probably save their life today.
Okay,
So those are some things that just didn't make it on, because it was, my budget was getting bloated.
okay, on it, can we move the recertification, which is under miscellaneous,
Yes, sir.
up to contract services?
Yes, sir, yeah,
Can we do that?
yes, sir.
How much should we move up there?
That thousand that I have in miscellaneous.
Okay, all right. And then we have never officially discussed the certification pay. And I haven't, I don't have it in front of me. Do you?
Not in front of me, no, sir.
Okay,
Are you able to get to your email? Cause I emailed it to you.
not at the moment, no.
I can talk about it.
Yeah, just tell us what the discussions have been so far
Yeah,
about
so,
certification pay for the,
so right now, there is a certification pay chart. Where if you have this certification, you get paid so much extra a month. But right now, it is 100% law enforcement driven. It was more for the sheriff's office and the constables and things like that. It doesn't address any of the fire certifications that we have. Well, there's kind of two parts. The top is how much money, how much you get extra per year for basic, intermediate, advanced, and master peace officer. And I think master peace officer gets like an extra $44,000 a year, something like that.
yes,
So it's set. And then below that is, it has a list of certifications. And you can only have up to 3. And I think if you have 3 of those certifications, that's an extra $540 a year. But they're all law enforcement certifications.
Mhm.
So the stuff that I sent Judge Andy Reese was on that top portion where we have basic, intermediate, advanced, and master peace officer. I added 2 parts to it. I added inspector and I added investigator. I actually took basic off of mine. Because if I'm hiring you as a fully fledged fire marshal, one of the prerequisites for that job is that you have your basic inspector or basic investigator certification. So you don't get a certificate jump until you go to intermediate, advanced, and master inspector or intermediate, advanced, master investigator. That's when those additional certifications were paid. And I think I started at 250, 500, and 1,000, so an extra a year. And then on the bottom, I just added some certifications that were more fire related, or my office related, like the designated representative certification that we have to inspect septic tanks, soil analysis, site surveyor, that's all the OSSF stuff. And then I added emergency medical technician on the fire side. Because so that would give us some more certifications on the certificate pay that, like I was saying, makes sense for the fire marshal's office to have. And I do know the sheriff did have one, and I can't remember the exact name of the certification that the sheriff wanted to have, but it deals with sexual assault. And it's a certification for that. And I hope y'all really grant that because, think about your children, if you're or your wife or whoever, if you have an officer showing up to a sexual assault, you want someone that's trained with that. So I really promoted, I would 100% support, I can't remember the exact name of the certification. But he said that he was gonna try to add that to his as well. And I highly recommend that we do.
Thank you.
okay. All right. Anything else, gentlemen? All right. Thank you very much.
That's all.
So, we left off at,
Data processing,
I think we're at communications.
we finished data processing.
It's really not. Just maybe check over the share. It's inspiring.
No. There it is, communications. This is the radio system. And pretty much, and this year was the first year for it. And, you know, we budgeted for the whole year. And when we initially were budgeting, you know, we anticipated that the system would be up and running by the first of the fiscal year, and that hasn't occurred. So a lot of these categories are based on a full year of full service, and we didn't have that. So I just pulled them back over. And in fact, the training part, the normal training that occurs in October got moved, and it's not going to occur. It did not occur. They moved it to January. So all of those categories I left. The only change I made is under repair and maintenance, building and grounds. I added $50,000 because we're going to have to get a maintenance service contract on the air conditioning unit in the 5 shelters that we have. And each shelter has 2 air conditioning units and a humidity sensor inside, and they're very anyway, we're going to get a maintenance contract to whenever we have issues that we have somebody to call. And I haven't gotten quotes on it yet. I just put it in there for 50,000. That would also cover any other type of repair and maintenance for the shelters that we would need at the time. So
What's in the miscellaneous?
don't know, but we can go ahead and eliminate it if you.
I mean, I don't know if I eliminate that or reduce it like we've done everybody else. I don't think we eliminate anyone. It would be good.
You can always come before the court, you'll be here.
Was
Changes that.
since there's no personnel, I was thinking that it seems right to go ahead and try to eliminate that.
Yeah, and the personnel, really there's 2 that's major focus on the radio system. And that is Lieutenant Jeremy Jones, and he actually works for the sheriff. And then there's Ron Beaver, and he actually works for IT. But they're at the present time, 100% of their time is working on the radio system. So
Eliminate the miscellaneous.
24, there we go. Yes. Makes it a whole lot easier. We'll eliminate it for now because I know I can always come back and explain why I would need it. What I need it for. Okay, any other questions on this item? Communications Department. If not, we go to Constable Precinct 1. And he had already reduced his fuel request from 9 to 7,000. And 7,000, I think, is pretty common, is the common denominator for all of the constables. So I just left it at that in that regard. So any and I don't know what equipment purchases he had in mind.
I bet
He has a pretty tricky budget there.
yeah, I bet it's the best.
It's pretty streamlined right there.
Okay, you ready to go to 2? All right, 2, in light of where we are at, I really think we need to rethink about hiring 2 part-time constables.
So I spoke with Tommy this morning
Mm-hmm.
and he told me I could quote him on this. But he said that him and 1 and 3 don't need one.
Okay,
So he said if the South End County wants to do that, that's fine with them, but they don't need an extra.
okay,
And they didn't want to create more expense, as far as vehicles and insurance and. He basically just said he didn't need it.
The whole thing I see there is just miscellaneous. Cause it looks like it's
but
70, $80. All these spent. And that's,
Yeah.
a year,
What about the fuels? So we're getting that 20-cent reduction.
well, he dropped it too,
Yeah.
no, he upped it too.
Yeah.
Up to $2,000.
Yeah.
well, I think that's part of having the
Okay.
part-time constables where that falls in.
But he's still in his highest years, 23 something. He had 5,000.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think it should be?
If he's 23 something, could we drop him back to
Again,
3,500? I should have something.
Because you got in consideration, if he gets another one. I'd say $6,000.
He gets another deputy,
right,
but he won't have him all the time. He won't have him half the time.
Right, that's what I'm saying, drop it to 6. I mean, you're looking at 20 or even 5. Right, do 5.
I think stay
Right.
46. I'm gonna get 46.
I'm taking it down to 5. Okay, and so we would drop the constable, well, they've got 1 and 2 and 1 and 4. So we don't have one butcher covered, so should we drop the one in precinct 2 part-time constable and keep the one in precinct 4?
Were they splitting those or?
Yeah, I know,
Yes.
Heath and Bob were in favor brothers.
Okay. So I'm gonna drop the one out of 2 and keep the one in 4 right now.
Well, didn't they split the cost on that?
Yeah, 2 and 4 goes to the cost.
So they're not both paying for one, each of them paying for half.
Okay,
That's the way I was understanding it.
okay, so I'll just drop this 37 500 in half, correct?
Oh, because you're saying that they were contemplating 2 part-times. And so you're saying we can split them 1 part-time rather than splitting them 2
Right,
and cut the 37 and a half in half.
because it's very difficult from an accounting standpoint, to charge an individual for 2 different, especially a part-time person, or 2 different departments. So if we just kept them all in 4 and none in 2, that would be easier, or
I see.
see what you're saying.
So he may spend half his time in 2, but he's gonna get paid out of 4.
Right. So I can talk to Bob and Heath and see.
Yep.
To see how they want to handle it, how they want to split it, so. They'll do that, and I don't know if that would cause a reduction in law enforcement supplies in one of them.
Well, if you was gonna cut that salary off and they're paying half of each, you cut that law enforcement pay supply. You know that,
Well, I don't know what they
I don't know
were
what the-
calculating.
I don't know what the supplies are for law enforcement supplies.
Okay, 3 law enforcement supplies are 500. And 4 law enforcement supplies are 3,500, so they both have 3,500. 2 and 4.
I think you can reduce that.
All right,
What they need.
Let's say 2,000.
I was thinking 1,500.
Once again, they always come important.
Yeah, and they hadn't spent anything in law enforcement supplies in some period of time.
And then the old miscellaneous item,
Cut it in half.
do more than that, you spend 80, 10, 70, or 80, 70, and 59.
I think, one was $300. Should just, perhaps we'll leave it at $300.
Keep them all the same, 300. And I don't believe there's any bonding this year. It's only the year in which they went into office. So I'll verify that, but I want to take that out once I check, because my last time I checked is that the bonding was for 4 years, once every 4 years, and if you look at the history,
That's right.
it looks okay. So I took a bonding out of 1, bonding out of 2, miscellaneous.
Hey, look.
There he is, right there.
That's for
Good.
his timing
Yeah,
Might as well come on up to the podium.
to the table. Did you have in your budget there on salaries, employees, a second line item 37.5 for a part-time guy?
Yes,
And that's because you and 4, y'all were gonna split 2 part-time guys?
yes, see, we put it where I'd have a part-time, Laura have a part-time, ours would help 3, and then 4's would help 1.
1 and 3 said they didn't want 1, so we're gonna split it to 2 and 4.
Gonna do what now?
1 and 3 said they didn't want 1, so we're gonna split 1 with 2 and 4.
Okay,
You and Bob would split 1.
okay,
Well, I don't know if 3 cities didn't want one, I'm not sure. Who's,
I know that when we had talked about it, 3 and.
We need to verify that for sure from his own mouth, but that's what Tommy told me this morning.
that he did not want, 3 did not want one.
Correct.
I don't know how he could keep them out one.
We'll call him. Send him a text and ask him.
And what was in your under other costs down below, it says equipment purchase 5,000?
Oh, that was the taser and, I think we let know another vest, my vest is about expired.
Yeah.
And, a sidearm. Or one weapon, according to that new deal that they came out with, for one weapon, less lethal and a vest.
And that was for your contemplated new hire? Or is that for your?
So that was for me,
Oh, that's for you.
but whenever the sheriff's department on my deal, I can say that the sheriff's department did issue me a sidearm out of their deal whenever Joe got the new sidearm, so I do have a sidearm that is county owned.
So what supplies? If I get a part-time, say, let's just go ahead with 2 and 4. What supplies would they need?
They would need a vest, a less lethal, and less, a sidearm, but most people furnish their own sidearms. Being a part-time, I don't know how that would work with being a part-time. I know full-time, the only thing I know that it says is full-time positions required for the sidearm, the less lethal and stuff. But they wouldn't need like I said, I have another vehicle, my other vehicle is completely decked out, so we wouldn't have to buy another vehicle at all.
So if,
we'd have gas and we'd have maintenance on a vehicle to consider.
Correct.
and you think that, based on your numbers here, this year you had 5,000 in your budget on fuel and lubricants. which is the third one down from personnel costs, you had 5,000 and you've used you've just used a portion of that. You think 7,000 is adequate, more than adequate for you and a part-time?
I believe so. I don't just run, I mean, I don't just sit up there and running up and down the road, I don't run roads hot.
What we're trying to do is make a true budget.
Yeah.
And down the road, if you need something and you can justify the court, you can come back and ask for it, whereas in the past we couldn't. We're trying to make a true budget, not, hey, I may need this.
Yeah, we're carving down. So what's your usual miscellaneous spend? What do you recall what usually goes into your miscellaneous line item?
Like this year, I had to, when I just put it in, I had to use some of my miscellaneous for uniforms. Because it went over the $400 uniform purchase, I believe, what it is all I had.
Yeah,
Uniforms, and as of right now, I was 150, 130 something over, so I moved some out of my miscellaneous to go into my uniform budgets to help cover the cost of the uniforms. Then I've used some of the miscellaneous, I think last year, like oil changes or brake, like I didn't have new brakes on the Tahoe. That was more than what we had on the auto paint, the 1,500. If you get a set of tires and need some rotors, and you're done. I mean, so now then you need extra oil changes or whatever. So just anything that happens, you broke a rim or anything, and that, I mean, $1,500, that's what the miscellaneous for.
I think that's what most departments were doing, is put miscellaneous money in there so that we could come to the board and just move money around into something else. We were moving from there to whatever we needed. So.
Okay, Jeff said he did not need anybody.
so y'all it'd be a split between you and four. So we'll put, I think the judge had put down, the payroll on 4, right?
Yeah,
You're taking the payroll, the part-time payroll off of, 2, put it on 4.
okay. What, and vehicle expenses also?
I think that you can leave the vehicle expenses on 2, because it's, the vehicle's already owned by 2.
Correct.
Okay,
Because I don't believe, Bob doesn't only has the one.
His vehicle was procured for another.
Oh, then he'll have the other one too, but
Well, I mean, his vehicle that he had from prior was used for another department, if I remember.
yes.
So he doesn't have so you got the vehicle, so we'll leave the vehicle expenses on 2.
okay,
So that'll be in your budget.
all right, and I'm gonna, for fuel and lubricants constable, I'm gonna leave that at 5,000. And then put 2,000 in fuel and lubricants for deputies. That sound,
So let me ask a question on, who will he be under? What commission is he gonna be under? 2's commission? Is he gonna be under 4's commission? Because one of us will have to do the background check. You have to either be commissioned under my department or commissioned under Bob's.
Whose idea was it?
We both put in for it, so. And I mean, both of us.
You'll just have to arm wrestle, see which one it is. I mean.
I'm sorry?
Y'all just have to arm wrestle, see who it is, like. Just has to be, somebody has to be designated.
Right, he has to be designated to a department. Now, he can still do, he's still able to do, with the law, he can still do traffic anywhere in the county. As long as he's commissioned, he can still do anything in the county. He just has to be under a department through T-code, and they have to keep up with his training, his, all of his records, his firearms, qualifications, his trainings.
So it would be easier if he was working under whichever one of y'all, but he could still come into your precinct and do the same thing.
Correct.
So if all of the expenses was under one precinct, it would be easier to keep up with.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Well,
I don't think the expenses have anything.
I don't think the expenses have anything to do with anything, I think it's whether it's who's he gonna be commissioned under.
The salary,
If he goes, the vehicle goes to the shop, he'll have to know that. Like all the vehicle expenses are under me, he'll have to bring me the invoices and I have to bring them to her number. Or whatever, because the vehicle's under me, it just depends on who's he gonna be commissioned on. Me or Bob, and then you have to just decide on which court.
Can y'all just, can they just decide that on their own, whichever
Yeah.
one?
Or me, or
We have to.
But you know, the reason why I was thinking to put the automotive expenses on too is because the automobile is under his, it's owned by precinct 2 constable.
Right.
Now, and, but it does create some confusion, but I mean, as it relates to what court, it's just where they pulled over, right?
Yeah, just wherever if they're stopped, what court their tickets go to,
Their court would go to whatever jurisdiction they're in,
Correct.
yeah.
Okay,
so we're
so,
gonna make all miscellaneous is 300.
I think that's a wise way to do it, and if you run into something, that you need on automotive, then you feel free to come back to us, and we're gonna, we have no problem with that. But we want every dollar in the budget to be reflected in the line item. It hasn't been done like that in the past, so we are kind of making a change in how we're doing the budget. So we have no problem with that. The difference is you'd come to us to say, oh, I need to move it from miscellaneous to automotive repair. In this case, you're just saying I need to move it from contingency to automotive repair. It's the same thing. We're just changing the process.
and you got $1,000 for training here, and none of the other constables have training, but you got T-Cole funds for that. Can we, and there's a budget for T-Cole.
Okay.
Can you use that budget instead?
Sure, and like just like some of our constable classes that we go to, they don't charge us for the constable classes, like 40-hour updates and stuff like that.
Right.
Then Limit puts on, we just have to pay for suppers and
Okay,
stuff like that.
and I believe all the T-Cole, classifications are $3,500. It's actually something you apply for, and we get the money in advance,
Okay,
if I understand it correctly. And there's money out there, for that training, we use for the training. So I'm gonna go ahead and take 1,000 off here, if you're okay with that.
I'm with whatever makes it easy.
Okay.
I'm not gonna worry.
Look at these
Especially
zeros, you're on.
if you're giving us some help, I'm all about. So, but on you're trying to get this straight now, that vehicle will be split between me and Bob. So he'll work part-time with me and part-time with Bob.
Well, Bob just need to figure that out.
Yeah.
So many hours here, so many
Right.
hours there.
But it'll be under one, it'll get paid under one department.
Okay,
Okay, we'll put them under Bob, and then we'll put the vehicle under yours.
Okay.
And so, in that regard.
Alright.
Is that okay?
yeah, and then we just get with who we're gonna hire on that end, and so you're gonna put the deputy under him, so he'll be commissioned under him.
Okay.
Is that what you're
Just
saying?
learn
Yeah.
Bob.
Mm-hmm.
It's just basically just for purposes, but you and Bob have to work together on that. The salary will come out of 4, the vehicle will come out of 2, and we'll commission her under 4.
Yeah, it's the same thing you would have done under, sharing between 2 and 1 and 4 and, and 3. Or however you talked about doing it before, it's just gonna be between you and Bob now, instead of sharing with the other 2
Gotcha.
precincts.
How many hours is this part-time position gonna be for? Is it 30 hours? Or does it fall different under their?
Probably a good coach.
No more than 32 hours a week averaging.
Well, they told me it was 30 for me, but I couldn't do the 28 because
Maybe it's,
sometimes the way it fell, they were going over.
Well, it's very important to make that determination right now because that's gonna determine their pay rate.
Exactly.
And, so,
So you're saying 15 hours.
but we have set 37,500 as a salary. Okay,
Please.
and if we say they were working 30 hours a week, then you take 3,700 and divide by how many ever hours to get.
She's going to get just.
Okay,
But I didn't mean to stir something up. And it's
That's a very good question, though. No,
it's not for those hours.
Yeah, you cannot.
But,
It's always
you know,
30 with us.
He could work 10 hours one week. And
40 the next.
40 the next. And you're still averaging 25 hours, so you're fine.
If
At
it
the end of the year, it cannot average more than
that ain't the way I
30
heard
or
it.
2 hours a week.
I got in trouble for not doing that.
You'll get called pretty quick, fast, in a
It depends
hurry.
on the pay period. They cannot have over 30 hours in that pay period. Now, that's what I was told. 'cause I had
We're
paid
about to
31,
find out. We're about to find
And
out.
I got in trouble.
So basically it's 15 hours, then that would be a paper, that'd only be 15 hours a week.
We're fixing to find out what distance is.
No, I'm sorry. It was 30 hours a week, so it was 60 hours in a pay period.
Okay. That makes more sense. there.
So you would have him 30 hours this week, and Bob would have,
Oh, yeah.
that he would have him 30 hours next week, or y'all could go 15 to 15.
Gotcha.
You always have to work that out.
Yeah. Yeah,
Justin's got to answer on that.
unless it's different for law enforcement, for us, it's 30 hours, and somehow or another, I went over an hour. And I got in trouble for it. And they told me I needed to cut it back to 28 hours a week, so I would stay legit or whatever. Right, yeah,
Right, and I thought me and Bob, I think when we had voted up, it was 24 hours a week. Or something like that.
where you been?
How many hours is part-time work a week?
30 or less.
30 or less? Is that a pay period or is that average for the
Average
year?
hours is 30 for this year.
So if he works 10 hours one week and 40 hours the next, that's 30. And say if he works 50
That's
hours
correct.
and 20 hours one week, that's 70 hours, it's more. But then the
Well-
next week he works less. It's gotta be 30 hours at the end of the year or per pay period.
Their first year of employment is based on from their hire date. And once they go through one that cycle, that's their implementation period.
So
Then it would go from and budget year to budget.
is it 30 hours per pay period or 30 hours? For the time being, from the time he's hired and up to the end of the year? It's a long stretch or
It's the full stretch. If your first year starts with your hire date, you go through one full cycle from hire.
So as long as they don't work over 1,040 hours a year, because what 2,080 hours is.
Then you have to give them full benefits and move them into full grade benefits and grade.
So it's basically 1,040 a year. They can't go over 1,040 hours a year
total.
total, because what 2,080 is a full year.
And I sent a reminder to anybody.
Yeah, you get your hand slapped if it goes over 5 minutes.
Yeah, I sent a reminder.
I got mine slapped, so.
Yeah, it was a removal from office notice or something.
Jessica said.
That might not be a bad idea either.
Lord help us.
So,
They don't get holiday pay, they get retirement,
right, they don't need, no insurance, no, they
but
do,
they do get retirement.
they do get retired on part-time.
So there's an increase right there
Then,
of what that is.
the senator for on the,
The ground.
to be part-time, and eventually move into a full-time position. And
And I know most of the municipalities don't pay their part
that's over what 32 hours and then
and that qualify for full.
insurance and everything.
You know,
Part of our game, part-time, you work
Yeah.
8 hours a year.
So if I
So
understand
that
it,
just what their contribution would,
but then if I'm also, if I'm not mistaken,
counts towards your reserve.
a part-time position, so what we don't have to worry about is a part-time position is not, allowed to work any off-duty security. If I'm not,
There's not.
because I believe there had to be a full-time commissioned police officer that can get a paid off-duty security.
That part I would, I would, what you don't find.
I believe that's what they were talking to school last week about.
That would make sense, because you have a lot of people doing that, you know.
I got a lot of people working part-time and going making 120,000 working off-duty a year.
You're probably right.
So you and Bob, watch the hours.
Sir?
Just you and Bob, watch the hours.
No, no, Jessica will be
Well,
watching
you need to determine what the hours are gonna be up front.
But
Because, and this is what it'd be, if they're gonna work 30 hours a week, 37,500 would come out at $24 an hour. If they're gonna work 24 hours a week, then that would be $30 an hour. And if they work, I'm sorry, 24 hours a week, and if they work 20 hours a week, that would be $36 an hour. But you gotta be real careful, because you can't let them go over whatever you come up with in that regard.
Right, so as long as they don't go over 60 hours of pay period. Correct? 30 hours a week, 60 hours of pay period.
Right.
I mean, if the break, where the rest of break pays.
So with me, I need to get with Bob and find out, if you're gonna work 24 hours, that'd be 12 hours and 12 hours a week. Which, I mean, 8 hours and.
the 24 hours would probably keep you safe because of a situation where they were on a call right at the end of their time. And they had to stay a little longer. You know what I'm saying?
Close to that end, if you're right there at it, I'm gonna be on you like.
Yeah.
Day.
Okay.
I'm not trying to persuade you to go either way on the hours, but
It's a month.
you gotta protect that
I
because
think 24 hours, I agree with that, and I believe that's why me involved was talking 24 hours to make it quicker that day for the part-time position, to keep them under.
they,
Okay.
They can
just in case
still-
something happens.
they can still go up to 30, but normally it would be a 24 just in case there was that emergency
Right.
that they had to stay.
I never know what's gonna happen.
Exactly.
The last 30 hours, it could be the last 15 minutes.
Exactly. Exactly. He'd have to be on the horn calling you.
Yeah.
You don't really hurry up. Don't forget to go off the clock.
30 hours there anything.
So you wanna go 24 hours?
I think
A
that
week?
would be the safest. bet.
Okay, that would be $30 an hour.
I think this will be the safest thing, and if they happen to go over, then adjust it the next,
Right.
whatever.
People know.
Okay.
Other than, I mean, we kind of do it like. We do our pay, no matter if we were. 150 hours of pay period, well, we still
You
get.
can't do that part time.
That,
You can't do
that
that
changed
part time.
last year that, I certain salary level.
Then I think,
Changed several people last
uh,
Can't pay them a fixed rate.
year. Right.
so, I mean, 12 hours a piece a week, I think that would be,
Be a lot of help, I thought.
yeah. Cause that, I don't know if our course like. Our courts are in the mornings and Judge Shan's might be in the afternoons if we need help, we can work that. We can get a lot of work that.
Okay. All right, were you here when we talked about, did we talk about law enforcement supplies with you?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, that was equipment, purchase equipment.
Maybe, I'm sorry, yeah, the equipment purchases. I think that my 5,000 of equipment purchases was for my, cause I have that left over this year.
Mhm,
In my vehicle budget for my camera on my new vehicle.
mhm.
And they haven't got that movie to get one in my vehicle yet. And I think I'll put that in because the leftover that I'm gonna have, cause I don't know if I'm gonna get it in by October 1st.
Okay, so you're just rolling over from.
Yes, I believe that's what.
Okay. Okay, So have you got one with Scott on, is it,
No, the camera deal is with the people who does your lighting.
okay,
Like my lights and all that, they've done for my vehicle siren and the lights.
right,
And they're the ones who are looking for me a camera that has the body mic, the camera and everything. And they said it's roughly 5,000. And I had that left over from my vehicle.
you need to check with Scott, because all of the cameras that the sheriff's department get have gone through Scott. In the body cameras.
Okay, see, but the thing is, with what we come to on that is we'd have to drive to the sheriff's department to download it and be in their server.
Okay,
We gotta figure out a way where we can have access to the camera.
talk to Scott
Okay.
and see. You know, it's best to, well, if you can find something cheaper than Motorola ones we got now, I'm all for that. So,
Now, the camera or the watch guard system,
mhm.
and the one that they were finding.
Uh-oh, his ears are burning.
Wait, yeah.
Ears.
Yeah, this is, you know, the sheriff's office watch guard system.
Oh. Okay,
We'd have to set up a completely different agency for each constable in the watch guard system. And when we worked on that, Jeff, a year or so ago, it was very expensive.
yeah,
And so this camera here that they're working on is on like an SD card. You can pull
Okay.
it out and download it on.
oh,
my
okay,
computer. And that's the reason why I've been dealing with
okay,
intercommunications out of Sulphur Springs on that. Looking
Okay.
for this camera, and it goes with a body mic
mhm,
or a body camera and a car camera.
So they're connected.
Yes, and it comes on an SD card. I think it was 48 something like that.
mhm,
Yeah, it's got all the triggers.
Yes, when the lights come on, it triggers it, and you can set it back to a minute, 30 seconds or whatever. When the car impact or anything, it automatically triggers the cameras to see
mhm.
everything. Because
So do we,
if you have interaction with the public, no matter if you're in your car or not, you have to have your body camera on. If you're on a call or any kind of interaction, you're supposed to be recording with the body camera.
so you said Jeff has been working on this too, so he would be wanting one of these too?
I'm sorry.
Jeff, you say Jeff is working on one
I
of
don't
these
know.
too? I'm just wondering if we need to,
Yeah, see, like my L3 that's in the old car now,
mhm,
it's got so many videos on it now that we can't get it to download and it won't move over to the SD card. So I've been dealing with L3 to try to figure out how to get them off of there
You couldn't use them in prosecution anyway then,
for,
in court. If you can't get them off of there so that they can be disseminated, then you wouldn't even be able to use them in court, even if you had them, right?
That's the reason he wanted the new style, because
Yeah.
the old style can't,
yeah,
it's
you
not
can't
working.
try to
You-
want to download to their cameras over there.
Yeah.
And so I went on, Amazon and I bought a body camera. It's like $98. It's the exact same one that Canton PD uses on their bodies. And you just take it, put it in a dock and it downloads to your computer. It's not integrated into the car camera, but you still have a body camera. This one here is body camera and it's integrated with the car camera.
That's the kind of system Jeff was wanting,
mhm,
but it was so expensive, but watch guard.
Yeah, it was $20 something thousand for that camera system. Yeah.
mhm,
And then you gotta worry about the servers and all that downloading when you pull up.
mhm.
Download, this one is on an SD card.
I think the one you're looking at, you can just take the SD card and then just upload that straight into the hard drive.
Yeah, into
Yeah.
my computer,
Mhm.
Your computer and move that to the hard drive system for the.
yes.
Yeah, Guardify is the online storage, correct?
I know, we just started using.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's supposed to be Leo over at Inter County Communications is who I've been dealing with,
Mhm.
talking to about the cameras. on that part.
Okay,
That's the DA's office, people use that for.
Yep.
The evidence discovery, everything.
Did you say they were right there at Sulphur Springs?
Yes, sir.
Right there before you go in on 19 on the left, are they still there?
No, that's a different that was,
It's okay, I just.
no, this one is you go in Sulphur Springs, you take it right on the loop, go all the way around that loop before you get to Sulphur Springs, and you cross over 30 and it's down on the right. He does all of Hunt counties, he's done mine, he's done Jeff, he outfitted Jeff Carnes' car.
Yeah.
I think he outfitted, Bill Crawford's new truck for the DA's office too. This guy.
But is he gonna be able to find that for you?
Yes, the thing is in stock. He's already found the camera, he's getting it, trying to find it in stock, it's just hadn't been in stock. So right now, I'm just using my body cam. But that's cheap enough, I mean, even if you can't, the body cam is $98 on Amazon. And the reason why they started going to the cheap, like this, you get into the argument, getting into a fight or stuff like here, them cameras are breaking, they're $98. And they're really rough, and they hold a lot of storage in it too.
so you said the cameras are in stock, you can go ahead and get it now, can't you?
If it's in stock, yeah.
Oh, if it's, I thought, okay, if it's not, okay. All right,
Okay. A year now, 20 hours, the way
Yeah.
we're going.
all right, thank you.
Well, I was very fortunate that he walked in and waited there.
He did,
Was.
his ears were burning, I
Well, I've
think.
been down in the basement all morning.
Okay, anything else? Now we'll move on to
Thanks, sir.
precinct 3. This would be Constable Corin,
I'm gonna move in.
and I would suggest that once we find out what the camera cost is gonna be for precinct 2, that we add that to the precinct 3 budget, because that was something that he wanted. Or should we wait a year, wait until,
I think it'd be a good idea. I know that what they're using for body cameras, it's found some form today. I think it's a good idea.
and that would not fall under your budget, it would fall under theirs,
So far beyond theirs,
because there's no service or support contract that's required on it.
it's all part of a car package.
Okay.
Supporting it, it's all part. I don't know the other, I only heard about it when he was talking about it just now, so I haven't talked to any of the other hospitals about it.
Okay, so Constable 3, oh, I didn't move it on here, we need to change the fuel and lubricants to 5,000. Because of this savings in the tax exempt, we're tax exempt on the state tax. And I don't know, I'm thinking maybe we go down to 6,000, because he was at 6,500, 59. And of course, he's got the, I don't know if that Durango is more fuel efficient than the Tahoe. But
This is in June that was talking about right here, these figures,
Yeah,
the year to date
Yes.
is June.
I don't know, these were probably May.
I do 6.
Yeah, let's go to 6. Okay. Yeah, this were probably May. So,
He doesn't need bonding, does he?
no, we take out bonding and I up the miscellaneous to 300. So that they're all consistent.
What is the other professional fees?
I don't know, but it looks like we could eliminate that and
It's $70 on fashion.
it could, and he can just use miscellaneous.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right, anything else on here? And I put 5K for camera under equipment purchases. And then once we get a true cost on that, we can update those. All right, so now we go to 4. And this is where the salary will remain for the part-time on the second line item right there. And so do we need to take,
So you know that.
They can go down to 1,500 on office supplies. Probably more than that. It's 85, 212, and 754.
well, I wouldn't make it any higher than 1,500 for sure.
1,000.
Well, you know, this is new office. I mean, he's new in office and there may be stuff, I don't know. So I would say,
15.
yeah, let's go 15. And I don't know what postage is for. We'll do that. Fuel and lubricants. Okay, he's not gonna be sharing that with the part-time, so, I think 5,000 is plenty. Because he hasn't, well, of course, the 24 and 23 was, Pat Jordan. So, and this year, full year, well, he's actually only been, since January, which is 7 months, 6 months, well, this is 5 months.
That's gonna be right at 5,000, $5,000 to $6,000.
But then we have
The 20
exemption, so it should be covered there. And then, I don't know what law enforcement supplies, that seems to be 3,500 seems to be a common denominator, but nobody seems to spend it. We knocked,
I hadn't been anything spending that.
well, again, this was, you gotta remember, it was a previous constable.
What were the others?
On law enforcement supplies?
Yeah.
One was, 500. 2 was 3,500 and we cut back to 1,500. 3 was 500.
We just be consistent, I mean, the 2 or 4 partners. And they're gonna have to get supplies for the new guy, I keep it, I go 1,500.
Okay.
Do they not wear uniforms?
Awesome, yeah,
I'm not sure it's too,
they may not get any uniforms,
especially all the way across.
Well, yeah, it's up to the individual on whether or not he gets reimbursed by the county. He may be buying his own uniforms and some, and just not bothering to get reimbursement.
Boston's he wears jeans and a nice shirt, has a badge, whereas he'll wear also they all.
Yeah.
They're not, Jeff wears a full uniform.
Tommy does too.
Tommy does,
Okay.
yeah, Tommy does.
Auto maintenance, 3,500, and I think part of that was including the deputy in there. He's gonna get a new vehicle. And he's not gonna have to maintain a second vehicle. So I think 2,000 would be the max that we should put in there.
Are you giving one part-time constable that 2 and 4 are sharing?
That is correct. We are not doing 2 part-time constables.
So where are they going to be paid out?
The They're gonna be paid out of 4 and the vehicles out of 2. Okay,
And if we're short anywhere, we take it out of human resources.
That's true, she would allow that too easy.
We gotta keep miscellaneous.
all right. So I just changed auto maintenance to 2,000. Okay. Miscellaneous,
300.
2,500. Now, they're pretty consistent, but then again, we got new rules, new guidelines. Okay, anything else? 87,500 for the new vehicle, and that includes the outfitting of it.
What is the difference between their office supplies and number one's office supplies? The numeric difference of it. Can you tell me? I can see 1,800 right there.
1,800, number one, before or after, number one's office supplies is 2,150. Okay, number two's office supplies is 500. And there's been no activity on that for 2 years.
So
I'm sorry, 1 year.
Tommy was telling me that the printer he's got, the ink is real expensive.
Yes, it is.
He's the
$500,
only one that's got that, like that kind of printer.
$450.
I think Jeff's got one too.
Yes. I don't remember if we got one for Bob yet or not. But, yeah, Jeff.
So does Jeff have enough in his office supplies?
Jeff has $500 in there as long as it's not over $500. He spent 200 and he spent 285 and 23, 257 and 84.
When did he get the printer?
Don't know.
I think they just got, when did they get the printers?
They all have different printers.
He just told me this morning it was it's expensive. The ink is.
But I believe. I had to look and see what one.
He's got a Xerox. He's got a Xerox.
I believe it's got a lot of,
Okay.
even though they're expensive, yeah, they're like $5,000, but. That's what we don't have to put that. The Xerox, that's why we get them, it's because they're more cost effective on unforeseen.
Okay.
They last longer.
Take your word for it. Who's the expert?
All right. And back to 4. Are we good?
You change miscellaneous?
Yes, to 300.
Yeah.
All right.
Y'all tell where we're hitting on this year? Miscellaneous.
We are now on, I don't know that we need to do the DPS. There's only the, Jessica's here on human resources. You had $3,700 in miscellaneous and I couldn't remember what that was for.
It's, I don't know how much that machine is going to be to do badges, but it's supposed to go under Scott's.
Okay,
But my miscellaneous should come from my healthy rewards check that comes in the middle of every year. Like it didn't get moved over this year, it came in, got moved to revenue, it didn't get moved over for me to use for anything I want about employees. And I wish I could buy treatment, but I don't want to put any.
so the 3,700 is for a lot of reward stuff that
This
actually,
last year was about 2730, what it would have been that had gotten.
okay.
And and you're saying that they just didn't know to move it over this year,
Well, it's,
It's just always been moved over.
they don't move a check into an expense account. Any check we receive goes into a revenue account.
Yes.
so all we have to do is put a transfer on from something to populate her.
If I didn't know it, I was.
But what would stop us from doing it next commissioner's court?
Well, if it was like, I mean, that would be, we're talking last year, right?
Talking about this year.
In the shoe.
Okay, well, there's nothing in this, there's nothing showing in your miscellaneous.
That I. Because I've never requested it to be moved, it was just always moved over in there inside.
So,
So I
so
didn't know the process.
somebody in treasury or in the auditor's office saw that it had come in and they just, and they made the transfer.
Yes.
And so there's nothing stopping us from moving the money at this point today or at the next commissioner's court.
Cause I'm just wondering this part of this whole thing. Is it and then?
So if the 37,
It was still good, because we always do.
so 3370 is all employee rewards, right? Awards or
It's 2,000
rewards.
and something.
Does that mean we're getting a treadmill?
This, not this year's 2,007.
Okay, well,
That
I'm,
way you can make that a line.
well, again, I'm gonna eliminate this 3370 miscellaneous.
That was for.
Okay, I'm gonna eliminate that because you've been consistent.
We should make an employee recognition line.
Um, Yeah, okay.
What was it?
Employee recognition line.
Recognition?
Yeah,
Recognition words for that, what that's for. For our health awards.
that's like, you know, the 5-year plaques or 10-year, whatever, all that, like that what's for.
But she also has,
I can use it if I want to go buy hot dogs for.
No, at this point, there should be a line item for that sort of thing.
Um,
Even though it doesn't have,
I need my office supplies for those, and I'm sent to order out.
but she's about to have all the people in all the road crews come in the next couple of weeks to talk about Aflac. And
Next week.
there should be money in a budget item, line item for her to have coffee and
Accommodate.
Cookies.
to
Accommodate.
yeah, I
Chocolate chip
agree.
cookies.
We should have it in a line item.
So I'm just saying that we need to,
Well, I moved $250 from.
that's what I'm trying to say, but hey, Jessica,
And I was gonna buy those things.
Let's move it now. Let's move it quickly. Like,
so we're just talking, what we're saying is that we should, you know, a commissioner should make a line item request change for this next
Wednesday,
the next meeting.
the
that we have.
13th.
And so that we can move that over there so that you will have those funds available to spend during these next 2 weeks of meetings.
All of it.
Okay, where are we moving them to?
We'll move the $2,700 into whichever line item most closely gives her the ability to buy the snackage and the other things.
Would that be miscellaneous?
Miscellaneous. Unless there's a snack line item. We're a chocolate and sundries line item.
The road goes on forever. It's still-
It's a big circle.
Well, and it's a great way to encourage the employees know that, hey, this is be to be the things that are able to develop the county. The county gets money back, and we do things back to the community.
I'm encouraged. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not wrong with it. Everybody's that are free, a free county possession.
Let's make it, you got that straight?
All right,
What about the employees? We gotta go to that real line
My,
item. Emily,
the employee that I requested to move up into a different status. Was that, I feel like, to be honest, I just felt like that was overlooked in the budget when y'all went through it the other day. And the whole discussion lasted about maybe 10 seconds. And I feel like that maybe there's misunderstanding on the knowledge that Emily has and the work that Emily does. She can't.
well, explain what,
Department when I'm there, and I'll give you the example, the night before, or even before, at 4 in the afternoon, before the. Budget workshop that was held where my department was discussed. I had an appointment we had already left. She gave us a phone call, we'll back for an employee that had to go to the emergency room, or something that happened. And I just last week sent out an email yesterday, said, hey, we had another form in our workers' comp packet, but she just returned to work on Monday. For being out of making the way. She got everything together, went out, met with the office call, and she said, I'll take care of it where they got the packet, went out there, explained to
the department head exactly what to do, how to do it. Got it all taken care of, talk to the person's spouse to let them know what was going on, as something extra. And that's just one of the things that she did. She didn't call and say, Jessica, what do I do? How do I do it? She ran to the department, just like I wasn't there. And I can give you multiple examples of everything that she does, because I have been teaching her over the last 2.5 years to take ownership. If she makes the wrong decision, we'll fix it. To take ownership, or to say, hey, show me how to do that. And I feel like that she has earned the right. Not a chief deputy, personnel coordinator, I'll even meet you halfway, not here at the very top, and goes to the first, they have 2 levels before the clerk.
Right.
You know, I would be willing to do that second level, but I believe that she runs that department when I'm not there. She can do,
So she can be
What?
assistant deputy.
well, but
I'm saying that's what.
it's the same salary. It's just she can. And I would argue the fact with anyone that she could stand up and take care of that business if I was mine.
Well, I'm not gonna argue with you. Cause I wouldn't win. You said you'd argue with me.
So. Where's she at right now?
She's at the basic clerk pay. 30s. 7, whatever, 39. I mean, I thought with the team clerk pay, that's what I try to do.
Which is beneficial to the county,
That's right.
that we have people that are ready to step up.
She will help citizens that call up here. I put human resources on the call numbers, so we get on people needing to go where to get a box and all this and that. Bless her heart, she just guides them all through those little steps. She's probably had some of the best telephone etiquette. And I think if you're consistent on it, that goes a long way, and they can say, that person cares about their job, they care about us. Cause I call some places and they're not very rude.
I like it.
They like it that we answer the phone. That's the worst complaint that we get, if they call the department, and no one there to. They call our office, really.
What you got down there, Brandon? What you got? What are we talking about?
We gotta talk about the salary.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm asking you. What kind of increase is it?
Well, we were asking her what she was asking for, but
I had asked for the top position, but not for the chief level. But I would be willing, if you would consider at least going up to the second level. And I think that would be
All right.
a move for this year and see what else I can future in the next year.
You're complete back up.
She's not complete yet.
That's cheap. So right now she's making 39,375.
Correct.
That's salary. No, that's the clerks.
Yeah, that's the part.
That's all the clerks.
Oh, that is part, yeah, right. And the next one will be assistant deputy, which makes $43,050.
She's at 39 now.
Yes. She went to basic.
And what's the title, I guess,
I would,
for that? The board
check for her, would go to personal authority. Because she does do that, she coordinates, that's a, you have coordinators, you have specialists, you have like 5 different levels in HR that she can have, but she would qualify now and be coordinator position.
Which is what our chiefs make.
And how much is that? 43 something?
43,050.
That is for the assistant. Yeah,
She does run the entire office.
That's what she's asking for? I'm sorry, I think she's just as important as anybody else.
And I do,
No, that's not correct. So here's the deal, you got the clerk's salary, then you have the assistant deputy, which is $43,050. What she's asking for is what our chief, and it's $45,150. Which matches that, so it would be our chief.
she takes care of everything when I'm not there.
What did you originally ask for? The chief?
That's what I originally asked for.
And you said you had made us at the,
I was gonna meet you at the assistant level. I could at least see.
there's $2,000 difference in that pay. And where does she go from that? That's how she can go?
And we could still add. Increase her another time later. I'll keep.
So you're fine this year with going to the 4350?
I would accept that and appreciate that moving forward. Yes,
I'm
Because I
glad-
want y'all to know that if something happens to me, I have to fight, people have to fight this position. But I am teaching her to have the ability to continue to run that department. And I leave today, I get.
With
And I appreciate that.
that,
I do.
that 43, it's 43.50 with the 3% increase becomes 44,341. So. Is that what we want to do?
I like it.
43,050. Okay,
That's it.
all right, we'll make that change.
And then we revisit it again next year.
All right,
Thank you very much.
Sorry we went by so fast the other day. The 10 seconds, like it's for me, like I'm drinking out of a fire hose up here. So,
We were just afraid that you were gonna come talk to us.
If, when the rain's gonna get, she will go up to the.
she didn't even hear it. With
What?
She will go up to. with the-
44.
Yeah.
I knew I was saying.
All right,
I mean, that's not what I've done. Oh, you know what? And, yeah.
all right, guys, we got a hard stop at midnight, at
10 minutes.
midnight or noon, whatever comes first.
when's our next
We better
one?
hurry up.
When's our next one?
Well, we're gonna have to schedule another one at this rate.
Yeah, she'll get on.
We ain't got to road and bridge yet. That's gonna be a 3 hour ordeal.
I ain't cutting nothing.
I'm putting more money in miscellaneous.
All right, well, let's decide, availability for another workshop.
6 o'clock
Do
tonight.
we wanna do it? Yeah,
No, it's not. It's 6 o'clock tonight.
I really,
You think so, but I don't have any money in the budget.
well, be thinking about it, we'll go on.
Let me see, but
All right, DPS, we've already talked about, there's nothing but one person in that job, so I'm gonna move on.
I'm gonna have a hard stop at noon.
Well, we don't have to if you don't want.
I'll just.
I had a lunch, meeting, but I can skip it
No,
to
I'm good.
accommodate y'all. I
No, I
would
mean,
be
it's all
glad to
I'm
accommodate
good.
y'all.
I'm sitting on G waiting on O. Good.
Okay,
what about if we came back after your luncheon?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's not,
you don't close the meeting.
we don't close it, we just adjourn. Yeah.
I'd be okay with that, Judge, if you
I
wanted
would
to
too.
do it.
Let me check.
I thought we were meeting on Wednesday or Thursday this week. Somebody tells Monday.
Well, I leave tomorrow at 4 o'clock.
We would have put everything on your miscellaneous.
That's what I was afraid of.
He's so miscellaneous.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, okay, then let's,
1:30.
I think,
Yeah.
yeah,
All right. We'll adjourn until 1:30.
very good, so.
Yeah.
Just think when Four Winds opens up across the street, we'll have longer lunches.
Are we gonna have 4 ones?
Yeah, and that, I mean, I don't know, they did buy the whole newspaper.
They're actually rolling across 1930 State Highway, Grady's Point. Right next door to it.
Are you sure they bought it?
I did see. them.
Wait, we're recording.
Are we?
Yeah.
Oh, gotta go.
Yeah. All right, I'll see y'all at 1:30.
Can Bobby go first? For what? I just wanna see how much you're bleeding when it's over with. I'm not gonna bleed. Oh, yeah.
I went to mine last night, I got it down.
I didn't get mine completed down by.
Ben, whatever money is available in my fund balance is what I want to go into my